My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
I'm Keegan.
Oh, wait. Dude, I don't know. I didn't even hear it that way.
Or Keegan ever.
I'm tired.
I'm Keegan.
Okay, I've got a little bit of a cold. Like, we're recording this, so we're recording a little bit ahead. So we're recording this on the 1st of March, and March is my birthday month. Okay,
Yeah.
Usually I'm like, spring is about to happen. Things are, weather's getting warm in LA. Like, usually March is great for me, but this March is set to be so hectic and busy and stressful that like I'm just like, please bring April. Like, things will chill out in April. I've
been watching Severance, as you guys know, and like the procedure has become more and more appealing to me as the show has gone on.
No.
Can I just
check out?
Just check out, and I'll catch you in 2028. We'll see what happens and see if I have to go back and be in any Christina again, because goodness, this year has me tired already.
I'm exhausted. Like, I truly, I'm so exhausted because I was thinking about what am I going to say I'm watching, and I am watching Severance, so we'll talk about that at the end. But like, I literally, Cassie's talking about all these books that she's reading. I can't, I'm in a show right now. I'm moving, the world is on fire. Like, the news is exhausting the shit out of me. Like, I don't have any brain space to absorb anything. I can't read a fucking book. I can't
it's only March 1st too.
A movie. I know. I'm trying to watch the Oscar movies. I can't do it. I cannot do it.
Dude, there's one Oscar movie that's like The Brutalist is 3.5 hours long.
In what universe can anyone in the year of our Lord 2025
truly
pay attention to a 3-hour long movie? Who?
No.
It ain't me.
No, I can't.
3 hours.
I can't do a 3-minute TikTok. I'm like,
fast
too long.
Oh my God. Bernie posted a 10-minute TikTok, and I care about that. And I was still starting to fade out at minute 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think isn't that a thing though? Like, when you're going through trauma or whatever, it really greatly affects your attention span.
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Makes sense.
Depression.
I mean, it would make sense to me.
It's true. And also too, I actually watched a TikTok the other day that I was like, whoa, that hit right in the gut. But it was talking about when you were a kid and you have friends who are like, oh, do you remember this thing? And they're telling you something so vividly that happened in the past. And you're like, I have no fucking recollection of that. And you realize that it's fucking trauma from when you're a child, because you're constantly thinking about what's tomorrow, what's going to happen, and I'm like, yeah, wow, that fucking hit.
I've always thought and joked that I have a terrible memory, Mr. Furley's. I've never been there.
Yeah.
But
is it Mark or is it Matt? I don't know.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
That's an inside joke for listeners. It would take too long to explain. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But no, I really don't have super vivid memories of my childhood. Not really. I have vague, hazy recollection of the fucking house I grew up in. I barely remember what it looks like. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. No, I do. And it's something about that.
It's not like I had a really bad traumatic childhood. I mean,
bad anxiety.
Anxiety. Yeah.
Anxiety can do that to you, because you can't ever live fully presently in the moment that you're in.
Yeah. I'm always playing consequences.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah. If you're constantly living in the future, or if you're constantly living in the past, that the now gets completely forgotten.
Yeah.
Do you ever do the brain sweep to try and figure out if you have more trauma in your childhood that you're blocking out?
No, because the trauma
what are you
I already
talking
have.
about?
No,
Listen,
because I
know what you're talking about.
Because I am okay. I mean, there's trauma in my childhood for sure. Everybody has trauma. Some particularly like bad stuff happened in my family that I do, of course, know about. But then I'm always like, they always talk about how you block trauma out, and sometimes you literally will not remember it. And so I have tried to sit here and be like, did worse things happen to me than that I just like don't remember? Like that I like have like blocked out or completely moved on from?
I think
you have to do that kind of like mental download.
I think that
wow.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've also experienced that scenario in my head, Keegan, where it was like, am I also having some blocked things that like my brain's like, you don't remember that, because I'm like, but then I'm like, do I even want to go there? Because the trauma I do remember is plenty. Like I'm plenty.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't need more.
I mean, the answer is probably no, but then I get curious about like, well, are there things I don't remember or are minimizing? Because I do think that things happened to me growing up that I do recall, but when I really sit and think about them, I was like, that's actually a lot worse or a lot more scary than I have convinced myself that it was, like, you know, and probably affected me in some way that I just never paid attention to. And so then it makes me think like, if things happen to me that I don't remember, are they having an did I develop coping skills around something that I don't even remember? And now I can't like get to the heart of solving that problem. Yeah. Because I don't know what the problem is. So then I'm like, well, do I need to know what the problem is?
Right.
You know, and this is overthinking, and this is what overthinking looks like.
Yeah, no, it's, man. Yeah, I think about all of the things like that I do remember from my childhood. It's just like, we're also of an age where like we just got to run around free of adults for like a lot of our childhood. Yeah. You know, just like running outside. Like I vividly remember just, you know, hanging out on train tracks and like
me too.
God.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was running around Las Vegas, just like me and like 2 other 8-year-olds. Like, what in the world?
No.
Different time, man.
Honestly, I was a milk carton waiting to happen. Truly. Oh my goodness.
My
what a jaunt. But yeah, I mean, I kind of, you know, if you're listening to this when it comes out on 3/12, if the world hasn't ended yet. Yeah. Congratulations. We've made it another couple of weeks. But the one thing I was thinking about when we're talking about memory, I saw an article this week where there is a robot, like a sex robot that they've made in China. Like, you know, the sex dolls. Yeah. They're putting like Chat GPT into its head right now.
Honestly, maybe they'll leave us alone then.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I'm like, what do we think? A good thing, bad thing for sex dolls with AI?
Whatever thing, I guess. Like, whatever. Yeah. You know, people are going to do what they're going to do. And like, people are already like marrying their blow up dolls or their, you know, pillows with manga characters on them or whatever it is. So like, whatever, like do whatever you're going to do. And maybe whenever the AI becomes advanced enough, that it starts like developing sentience, it will join women in the takeover.
I mean, honestly, probably.
It will be on our side.
Well,
yeah.
Let's flip this. Would you be interested in a male sex doll with AI?
No, like not even a tiny bit. I don't even want to know what that looks like. Am I allowed to program it myself? No. And it's just like, I get to pull all of these traits that I like, because if this AI is just being educated by the internet, way. Like, I don't need,
even if it's programmed by me, like I need someone who is going to challenge me to like, and I don't mean like fight with me, but I mean like challenge my thoughts and dig deeper than just like, no.
I agree.
I'm not fucking interested.
Agree. No, there's no reason for me, I'm like, there's no reason. If I want a robot in the bedroom, I have a vibrator. I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't
Exactly.
need it to talk to me.
No,
No.
thank God. Ugh. No. God.
No.
Shut up. Please shut up.
No,
Please shut
but
up.
I also kind of think, with the internet and with a bunch of porn that is out there, I think there becomes a lot of desensitization to like a lot of maybe some people would consider it aberrant behavior. So I think it's getting into like a Westworld type scenario where
Yeah.
I think like having a sex doll that is AI might actually, I think, lead to more violent behavior towards real
Women.
people.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, and this has been a question for a long time in regards to other kinds of like violent sex acts or whatever, or like perverse predilections or whatever. Is that some people make the argument that if they have that outlet, then they won't act. But I don't think that that's the case.
Yeah.
I think that it just normalizes the action.
Yes, I think so
Right?
too.
And
I
then
agree.
the more human it looks, like Westworld was so scary in that way because it was just like the more human the AI looks, the more desensitized you are to actually hurting
a real
people.
person. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a no from me personally. But in terms of just like AI being in a sex doll, I mean, people are using sex dolls anyway. I'm kind of just like, whatever. Like, not for me. I have no interest at all in that.
Yeah.
There is a woman that has been dating ChatGPT, and I guess you only get like a certain amount of conversations or memory before like it stops, and then you have to do it again. And so she's going through like 30,000 chats with ChatGPT, like in love with him, and then every time she has to reset him, it's like they're breaking up, and she has this like super emotional reaction. Keegan's face.
Oh my God. I am living in the wrong time.
What is happening right now? Like,
I don't know.
I truly think that ever since Harambe died, it's
oh my God, Chris. My Chris just said the same words today. So, like, if you guys could stop sharing brains, that would be immediately helpful for me.
It set us on the wrong course. It really
did.
I truly
it
think
knocked,
that it's
knocked us off its axis.
I think it's because you guys didn't send those chain mails forward.
yeah.
What do you
what
mean, you guys? Did you send them every time, Cassie? You gonna put that all on us?
I gotta be honest, literally never. Never once. Not ever once did I ever. It's my fault. You're right.
Oh no. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just look like I know everybody needs connection. It's so hard because like I don't want to judge too harshly because I do think like everyone needs love. Everyone needs connection in whatever way that you can find it. She's not really hurting anyone except herself. But I do think we all need to work on ourselves enough to like build genuine connection with other human beings. And I know it's hard because a lot of people suck,
Yeah.
but we got to try.
Yeah. I truly think that the answer to a lot of problems that we have in society is community.
Oh my God,
it's-
you guys. This reminds me of a
difficult.
story. This reminds me of a story I just watched on TikTok that made me think about you guys and made me really miss you and our other girlfriends this week because it was about girlfriends. And
Is it the girl who was postpartum?
yes, girl,
Oh my
I
God.
fucking lost it. So yeah, this woman who had just had a baby had like came home with the baby, but she blocked all of her friends, stopped answering their phone calls, wasn't texting back, and all of her friends showed up at her fucking house, you know, music blaring, girl, you know, like Beyonce, you know, and they broke into her house, basically broke the door down to her bedroom. And she was almost like pretty much despondent. Like she just wasn't well, like probably very much in a very bad way with postpartum, but fuck, they were like, nah, not on my watch. And I'm like, this is how my girls be, because I swear to you right now, this is how we would be.
Yeah, that's so funny. It's going to actually tie into my Tainted Love later. It's like, at what point, like, yes, I always want to respect everyone's boundaries and everything, but at what point do you say, like, no, in my gut, I feel something is not right, and I know that you told me that you want to be left alone, but I don't think, I disagree.
But I'm coming over the hill and I'm picking you up, and we're going to drive through the hills and sing music real loud, regardless of whether you want to or not.
Yeah. Yeah. That one really touched me too, because there are a lot of people that would read that and be like, oh, she wants to be left alone. Like, and who knows what would have happened, I love you guys.
I know. I love you too.
Well, on that note, so we talked friendships, sex dolls with AI. What are we going to fuck, marry, kill this week?
Oh, jeez.
Ooh, we could do robots.
Yeah, we could. I feel like we've done this one before, because they've definitely done more human than human.
We have done this before, but we can pick different robots.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to go there, because why not?
Okay.
I'm
I think we
throw
did
Wall-E in
Data.
there.
I think we did Data last time.
Wall-E.
Wall-E.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. What a stud. Oh my God.
Oh,
yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I'm setting the bar, okay?
Is it Ex Machina? Is that a robot?
Oh, yeah. She's a robot.
It almost makes me think of Johnny Five from Short Circuit.
Oh, God.
Okay, I've never seen Short Circuit.
Oh, wow.
Oh my.
What about the Iron Giant? Did you guys ever watch the Iron Giant?
I loved Iron Giant. So sweet. I'm gonna go with her. I'm gonna go with the AI Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson's voice?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, isn't Joaquin Phoenix basically that woman that Christina was talking about?
Yes.
Who's in love with ChatGPT?
Yes.
Okay.
I am going to go for. You know what? I'm going to go for R2D2.
Okay.
Okay. It's kind of funny that you're going with R2D2 instead of C3PO.
No.
I don't know why that's funny to me, because it's just like C3PO, like, looks more like a person and can talk.
Annoying.
He is annoying. He would mansplain shit to you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the reason why R2D2 is
more brave. Yeah. He's a braver person.
Yeah.
Ride or die. Yeah.
Yes.
A brave bot. This sucks.
A brave bot.
This sucks across the board. What the fuck?
I mean, it
Who you gonna fuck?
Yeah, this is hard. I know who I'm gonna fuck for sure.
Okay.
Actually, I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I know what I'm gonna do.
All right, good. Thank God.
I'm going to fuck R2D2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. He has little things that come out of him.
This is true. This is
true. And also, as much as I love Wall-E, I can't. You can't fuck Wall-E.
No,
right?
Wall-E
No.
is a
Like
child. R2D2 is almost a child to me.
Yeah, Wall-E's too much of a sweetie. R2D2's got a little edge. I think he's got an edge to him. So Cassie's face, so upset. But yeah, I mean, you've got to. I'm so sorry to talk about R2D2 like this, but we simply must. Yes, he's got like little grabbers, like little things that pop out.
Yeah.
And I also feel like he has places to go in as well. So I think he's the most fuckable of these three.
He's got a little attitude too. He likes to talk back and stuff.
Yeah,
I want to put it on wax
sassy.
that I hate this.
I know. I mean, look. I told you, I think it was last week, where I'm like, I've lost every fuck I ever had. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, just don't care anymore. I just, I can't. So here we are talking about fucking robots. So
I think I left my fucks back in 2017.
Wow, that long ago.
Yeah.
I held on to mine for quite a while. But by 2025, by the time the fires hit, I was like, you know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
For what? I actually thought I was going to marry Wally, but I actually think I'm going to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like a good companion.
Yeah.
I think that Scarlett Johansson's voice is really soothing.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
nice. She knows everything, but she's not going to make me feel stupid about it when she's explaining to me whatever. So, yeah. And like I said, like I've got a vibrator and maybe R2D2.
And R2D2.
So I will be just fine. And then I will friend Wally.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I love Wally so much.
So cute.
You can't fuck Wally though.
No, absolutely not. That is not on the table.
No.
That's for sure. But I'm just like, and also I think marrying him, he's just too nice.
Yeah.
He would.
He's
if
too
he-
nice for you. Yeah. Definitely.
I think he's too nice for any of us in this group, to be fair. I mean, I love
You're
us.
you're right.
There's
yeah,
just
you
not-
are right.
We're too cynical for a Wally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I really want to be his friend. I want to be friends with him and Eva.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to fuck her because I think that she could dirty talk and
That's
I could.
right.
You
That's
are
right.
right. Yeah, it would be like phone sex.
Yeah.
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 You're right.
So I'm gonna fuck her, and I'm actually gonna marry R2D2. He's spicy. He's brave. I mean, truly, like he's in like all the Star Wars movies, right? He's the hero.
I think so.
Fuck Luke Skywalker. Fuck Han Solo. I mean, him. Star Wars to me is R2D2 and Chewbacca. That's all I want to see.
Okay.
You know, we haven't fucked
And the
many killed
Ewoks.
Star Wars characters. We should put that, we should put a pin in that for later. But yeah, no, that makes sense with you, Christina, with your personality. I feel like, yeah, he's just sassy enough. Like he's ultimately like a really brave, nice guy, but like is a little bit of an asshole about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
All
I'm
right,
torn.
Cassie.
I know. Because you're right on the audible. I hate this. Once again, putting it out there. God. Okay. I am going to friend Wally.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easy one. I think I'm going to go Keegan's route. I think that I am going to fuck R2.
Mm-hmm.
Begrudgingly. I see it in
Very
your face.
fucking begrudgingly. Like,
Yeah.
It's got to be like doing a Sibian or something, you know?
I'm never going to watch Star Wars the same way again now that you've said that. That was very
Wow.
explicit in my brain. Yeah.
and then I'm going to marry her. Yeah. And we're done with this one.
Yeah.
We did it. We made it through. Oh, God, that was awful.
Oh my God. Oh man. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with
God,
stories.
please.
Yes.
Oh God.
And we're back. Okay, Christina, kick us off.
Okay. This person says, I make it pretty clear I am only seeking sexual partners, not romance. Guy and I match. He's cute. We have a great convo, and he comes over the following weekend to smoke a bowl and have sex.
Okay, to the
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
Love it. When he arrives, I also offer dabs because that's how I most frequently consume. He says, sure, why not? Has a dab or two, and then I go to take one. Being playful, I say, pick a number. I had like 14 pots of different dabs kicking around. He got super serious and says, no, I don't play those games.
Oh,
Weird, but okay, whatever. I picked a dab and he immediately asked me which one I chose. I said number 6 because it's my favorite number. Something inside him snaps
Oh, Jesus.
at that point and he freaks out. Started saying things like, I know you know this. Tell me when my birthday is.
what?
All right,
freaked-
time for you to go home. Like, I feel like you're having
No.
some kind of...
Maybe you
Who can I
shouldn't
call
have-
for you?
Maybe you shouldn't have dabbed.
Yeah, exactly. He freaked out about the number 6 because his birthday is 6/6. So apparently that meant I was a succubus that needed his...
Scary. Scary.
I was a succubus that just needed his cum, and he wanted to deliver me from the succubus and make me a real woman and give me a baby.
No. Get out of my house immediately. No.
No. Oh my God. So I've had my tubes tied and I'm child free on purpose. He was asking me if I've read the Bible. Oh my God. Talking about the Bible when you're high. No, thank you.
Get out.
I tell him I'm not religious at all. And he starts going on and on about how the King James Version is the word of God. And if he had the abilities and that the Bible states he could deliver me from the demons that were inside of me.
Oh my God.
This next line.
I can't. Can it get worse?
We started having sex a little and then he lost.
What are you doing? Shut up.
Unhinged.
No.
This is so
Girl.
unhinged. Girl, what are you doing? No.
What is wrong with you? Like, where are your girlfriends? Your judgment is impaired in this situation. I mean, I guess her judgment is probably literally impaired
from pot. But seriously, like, listen, I'm all for do it for the plot sometimes, but oh my God.
No, this
Wow.
is dangerous.
No.
Like, this is, I've watched too much true crime to accept this. Like, I'm like, this person is going to murder me.
Yes.
They need
It's
to get out of my house.
Trying to get me in that mother god cult shit. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Seriously. We started having sex a little and then he lost his erection and sat on my bed and started sobbing.
Oh no.
He truly thought if we had sex, it would mean he wouldn't get into heaven. He got dressed and then left pretty quickly. The next morning, he texted me that he couldn't stop thinking about me, and it was hands down the hottest experience he ever had, but he just can't complete the ritual by having sex with me and being forever linked to a demon.
So
What?
it wasn't that you were too high. Like, this is because if you're texting me the next day, like, this is just the way that you are, and
I am broken.
it's our best. But you know what's hotter than sex with a demon? So,
dude,
like,
I would keep that text thread
Forever.
forever. I would show strangers. If somebody texted, this was the hottest sexual experience I ever had, but I can't be linked to a demon.
you would pull that shit out at the bar after like a few drinks for sure. Yes.
Oh my God. He did also say that if he decided to stray from the path of God, then he'd reach out and hit me up.
No, you know what? No thanks.
I don't know that I need that. But
He's
that is
planning it,
maybe
though.
someone as dangerous as that is, as that person could be potentially. That is someone who I maybe wouldn't block, just because I would
Just
be
to
so
see.
curious. Like, yeah, so curious. Like, are you gonna? I won't like follow through with it, but like, I would like to know if you're planning on straying from the path of God, the path of righteousness.
Oh.
What else is he going to text? Yeah, no, I'd have to know too. And also being called a succubus, kind of like
Kind of hot. Yeah, kind of hot.
You're like, I'd read that book.
I'm a bad girl.
I actually really would read that book. I would.
Me
read
too.
that book.
I'm like, I'm taking notes now. I've thought to myself when I was reading whatever last romance book, Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I should write one of these.
I
Like
think
some
you'd
kind
be
of
great at it.
Yeah.
romanticy thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're
maybe-
a good writer.
Keep the fairies out of it. It will be good, I'm sure.
Okay, cool. All succubi.
I'll suck you by. It's an angels and demons book.
Ooh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so I'm sorry. How do you beat a succubus story?
You can't.
You
I
can't.
mean, we shouldn't even try.
I know. I'm a female, 27. So back in December, after some light pressure from friends and family, I decided to download Bumble again. I just love to torture myself. Anyway, I matched with this guy, male, 36. We started talking and he seemed cool and he was attractive. We had set up a date initially, which did not happen because he'd forgotten. And when
turn off.
Hold on. I need to go back though. Like, what kind of friends and family pressure you into going on a fucking dating app?
I would never. You do it in your time. You're either ready or not. Like,
I think people think that they're being helpful, like they're like trying to help you get back on that horse or whatever. But like,
it's fine to not be on a horse for a while,
and they also they seem like encouraging them to get out there like in real life or,
right.
Maybe.
Right.
But dating apps are so ick.
Yeah. And again, they're not for everybody. It's
exactly.
Like you can't, I don't like that.
Yeah. I don't either. I don't love this.
No.
So anyway, we'd set up a date initially, which did not happen because he'd forgotten. And when I expressed my disappointment, he proceeded to tell me that I had, quote, had nothing to be upset about because he, quote, tried to meet up with me. And even after he forgot. Mind you, he was having dinner with one of his friends. And when I had texted him to ask if he was still coming, and he told me to wait for him and that he would let me know when he was done.
This man is 36 years old. This is a walking red flag.
Dude, you're almost 40 years old. Get a grip.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Obviously, I was fuming because the audacity to not only forget the date, but to then put me on standby like some sort of escort had me all the way messed up. So I told him to get lost. Anyway, we unmatched from Bumble, and fast forward a month, it was my birthday, and I was on Facebook responding to birthday messages, and there was some guy wishing me happy birthday. I had completely forgotten that we were friends on Facebook. I'm not one to hold grudges, so I said, thank you, and he then proceeded to comment on my story and say that he really would love to get another chance to meet me, blah, blah, blah. I initially was hesitant, but we spoke for another week, and he actually seemed like an okay guy. He seemed to be hardworking and had a good job in the oil field.
The collective face that we all made just then. All right.
His own house and was looking for something serious. There were a few red flags, though, like how he doesn't want his partner to have any straight male friends and that they will not be allowed, quote, please, to go on any girl trips. And he kept,
this guy seems like a controlling asshole. And he told you right from the jump when he was like, hold on, I'll, put her on standby or whatever.
He diminished your feelings immediately by saying that you have nothing to be upset about. Like he really is telling you who he is right out the gate.
For sure.
Yeah.
He kept asking me if I really would date someone shorter than me because I'm 5'10" and he's 5'9", which should not be a big deal, but apparently it is. I don't know. Now I'm the type that tends to end things quickly when I sense any sort of weird vibes, but I was told by friends and family that I should learn to, quote, give people a chance.
Get better friends and family.
Truly.
That's my
this is my advice for you. Yeah. So against my better judgment, like a complete dumbass, I gave him another chance. We set up another date. He had mentioned earlier in the week that he was going to this one restaurant and getting to know each other more over some food and drinks.
Yeah. Hold on, because I've actually never been friends with somebody that is single. So like we joked about how like Keegan was the shut it down and Cassie was the no, wait for true love. I actually think that I would be like scorched earth. Like the second they breathed wrong, I'd be like, get rid of him. He's not. No, he's no good.
I actually do feel like you would be that way.
Would be the worst friend. I think I would just write everybody off immediately.
Because I don't know. Listen. Yes, of course. Like people are people. People make mistakes. Like whatever. But it's also like it's not that bad to be alone.
Yeah. No, it's
like
not.
It's
it
not.
Really isn't. It really isn't.
It's just like why, like her friends and family pressuring her to just like compromise or
Yeah.
settle or ignore her gut feeling about whatever just to be with somebody
No.
is just for what? For
No.
why?
No.
You know, I get it. Like, again, like I do understand the need for companionship and like,
Listen, if you're
Right,
already
I mean, it
on the
feels
horse,
good, but-
I'm going to tell you, you know, like, oh, yeah, do that or don't do that. Like, whatever. But if you're not ready to fucking be on dating, then and trust your fucking gut. Like, who
Right,
was
and-
I? I've
and
never
this
met
is
this
not-
person.
this isn't someone you've ever met before. So
Yeah.
it's just like, you don't owe this person jack shit.
Not a fucking
This
thing.
isn't
Exactly.
like a relationship that you're already in that you're trying to make work or
Exactly.
whatever. Then I'll tell you, like, sure, yeah, like, you know, if you want to go to therapy, if you want to do whatever you need to do to like
Whatever
make
feels
sure you're
right, man.
sure about this relationship. But this person, you don't even know this person.
Yeah.
You don't need
Yeah.
to even walk through that door, in
Well,
my opinion.
Well, she says, I work night shifts and I'm off Friday nights and he was off on Friday. So we decided to meet up at 6 p.m. I had gotten my makeup done and was all dressed up. I put a lot of effort into my appearance because in my mind, that's what normal people do when they're going on a date. I hadn't heard from him all day, but he texted me at 5:40-ish saying that he was at his mom's house eating. Of course, now I'm confused because I was under the impression that we were going to go eat. But I convinced myself that maybe it was just a snack or something.
Stop it.
This man then texted me again and said that he was having his last beer and that he'll let me know when he's leaving his mom's house. At this point, every cell in my body is on fire and there's steam coming out of my ears. But
He
remained
doesn't
calm.
respect you. He doesn't respect your time.
Nope.
Like, he's telling you when he's going to deign to
Yes.
grace you with his presence.
Exactly.
You go fuck all the way off.
All the way off.
Sir. Thank you.
So I remained calm and said, let's see how bad this can get. Like, I think at this point, she's like, oh, let's just, where are we now? What's happening?
She is doing it for the plot at this
you
point.
put
Yeah, okay.
all that you did makeup, you're ready to do something.
But
at some
the
point,
thing
I
is,
think you're
like,
just ready to get out of the house.
If I paid to get my makeup done and this guy was being such a piece of shit, I'm still going out.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the
Yeah,
bar.
with
I'm going out.
girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just not
I'm
with
not
you.
going out with you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you know the number of bad dates that we've read on this story can be attributed to sunk cost fallacy?
Oh,
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
and boy, did it get worse. So at this point, I was like, to hell with it. Let's just see what happens. He tells me that he's done and asks me, so what's the plan? I'm like, what do you mean, what's the plan? I thought we were going out to eat. He goes, oh, let's just meet at my house and then we'll figure something out from there. Again, like a dead fish, I went with the flow. So I said, okay, sure. I get to his house, and of course he's not there yet. He then calls me and says that he's got to stop at Walmart and get dog food, so he doesn't have to get it tomorrow.
I'm going to kill him. Oh my God.
I know. Like this, we've told so many bad dates on this
Yeah,
podcast.
this is gonna piss you
and
off,
so
yeah.
many are worse than this, or objectively, or like scarier, or whatever. But when we tell stories like this, the flames on the side of my face, like the disrespect, does something to me on like a deep, visceral level.
Yes.
You know, where I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking throw something. Like, I'm gonna throw something against the wall. How dare you? How dare you?
I'm
treat
not
me
even
this
done.
way?
Dude, and here's the thing. I have to stop at 7-Eleven and grab something is very different from I have to stop at Walmart, which is a fucking mega store.
Right.
You don't go in. One does not simply quickly go
Jump
in and
into a
out of a
Walmart. No.
Walmart.
Well, and also plan your fucking life better. You had
Truly.
a date. Like, you didn't stop to get dog food earlier in the day
Or the
like,
week.
It's just so disrespectful.
And it's all because he just doesn't want to go out and get it tomorrow.
Well, and also it's subconsciously saying like
You're
how much
not worth
he
anything.
values
Yes.
the date. Yeah, exactly.
You're not worth anything to me. I
Right.
was dumbfounded, but for some reason, I couldn't stop laughing. As I'm waiting, he texts me and says, oh, just a heads up. I haven't showered yet. I was cackling like a maniacally, like the Joker, because there's just no fucking way. He finally gets there and hands me one of these chocolate roses from Walmart and says, "Oh, this is for you for
all's
waiting
forgiven
for me."
then.
This is for you for waiting for me. Oh God, thank you. A chocolate rose, all's forgiven. I'm like, okay. I felt nothing. He then asks if I want to come in and that he's just going to shower real quickly, then we can go. I sit there on this man's couch.
Go where?
Go-
What's
go-
the
yeah,
plan?
go
What
into
is the plan?
Oh my God.
Then they'll go for sure. I sit there on this man's couch as his dog stares at me like the stupid bitch I am. Wow.
I know exactly how that dog was looking at her too.
Yep.
Me too. And that is the best. Like this
Yep.
dog was just like, girl, have
Honey.
some self-respect.
Do you not love yourself? Just say that. He comes out of the shower dressed in a tank and shorts. He looks at me and says, "You know, I kind of just prefer to stay home and chill. Plus, I think most places are closed right now. It's Friday night at 8 p.m. Nothing is closed."
I paid to get my makeup done. We are going out. Are
I
you
think
insane?
most places are closed now, 8 p.m. on a
It's at 8
Friday
p.m.
night. I
Oh
told
my
him
God.
that it would be nice to go out and that I hadn't eaten all day. He then tells me that even if we do go out, I was going to eat alone because he's done eating for the day. And I was like, oh,
fine.
really? He then says that if I'm still hungry later, then we can go to Walmart and get a cauliflower pizza. Again, absolutely dumbfounded. So now here I am.
I'm deeply offended right now.
Now here I am, all glammed up, sitting next to this man. His hair is wet and he's on the phone talking to multiple people. I am just too shocked to even muster a word. He then asks me if I want to play Jenga. And I just blinked at him. When I think he took which I think he took as a yes, because before I know it, he's setting up the Jenga.
Wacky Friday night. Also, I'm so sorry. I do not date women, but one thing I know about myself and my friends and most women in general is that you are never going to get anywhere with them if
No.
they're hungry.
Oh, no.
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 Absolutely not. No.
Order food at least. Least you could do. Least you could do. I'm sorry. Also, you were just at Walmart. You could have picked up that cauliflower pizza while you're there.
Yeah, you knew that she was
So-
planning on going to dinner and you're done eating. So the very least you could have done
piece of
was pick up food for her. You absolute piece of trash. Like, oh my God. Like, and these are the same types of men who are like, why am I single? I don't understand. I'm such a good guy. I don't get it. It's like, dude, you are 36 years old. You can't see that this is a fucked up situation. Like,
Wow.
really?
He then proceeds to talk about himself for the next 3 hours while I suddenly go in and out of consciousness
worst person.
from
I hate
exhaustion.
him.
At this point, he kept on urging me to drink since he noticed I hadn't touched the beer he had handed me.
I haven't eaten all day.
Right. Not going to happen, sir. Once I couldn't take it anymore, my survival instincts kicked in. I knocked over the Jenga and told him I had to go. He kept on saying it was too early and I just made a beeline for my car. I honestly don't know how I made it home in one piece, but I just want to say that I have made the conscious decision to live life and die alone.
No.
Yeah, you don't gotta listen to your friends and family about that shit. Honestly, like I sent you guys that that study that was just like having a cat in the house is just as emotionally fulfilling as a relationship. It's like, girl, get yourself a rescue. All right,
Or 5.
golly. Okay, this is a short one.
Jenga on a Friday night, man. Oh my God.
Full makeup, full glam
literally,
makeup.
After I'd gotten like, that would piss me off almost more than anything else.
Yeah.
Like being hungry is up there, but like wasting a good outfit and good face, no.
Mm-hmm.
It's a line too far.
Disrespect. Truly. Okay, this is a short one. I had to pee really badly after a night of club hopping and waiting in bathroom lines at the bar, so I decided it was time to leave instead of waiting it out. with my boyfriend in the elevator of the hotel with another slightly older couple we didn't know. I sneezed.
Oh no.
And the floodgates opened right up.
Yep. Oh, no.
There was another couple in the elevator, and the four of us could not stop laughing, which made it worse for trying to stop the stream.
Oh no. You just laugh.
Just ping,
Dude,
ping.
I swear to God, Eric and I were talking about pissing our pants last night. And I was like, I've peed my pants so many times.
So many
Have
times.
you really?
Oh.
If I laugh too hard, cough too hard.
Yep.
God damn.
If I start
I don't
laughing.
know that I've ever peed my pants outside of being like a kid.
Oh, dude.
I don't know that I ever have.
All the time.
Brag.
But it is funny to me. It is funny to me that like she couldn't stop because I'm just like you can't can't pull that shit back in. You
once you
gotta
pop-
pop on your like
once you
kegels
pop-
or whatever, you know? Like,
Dude, if you're
So
a
she's
little
in-
buzzed and you sneeze and it's like that releases, you can't put the jack back in the box, man. It's all coming.
and I can relate to like being at a club or like going from club to club and like the bathrooms just being too crazy. So you're just like, you know what, I can make it. And that intense feeling of needing to pee like so bad, but you're like, we just got to get through the door. You know, I just have to make it through the door. But can you imagine being the other couple? Like you're just trying to get to your apartment. Like
I would laugh. I would laugh
I would
so
too.
hard.
I'd be like, girl, no shade. You fine.
I
It
was
happens.
mortified when the elevator doors opened and there were people standing there. They were not amused. They have to get on the elevator in a puddle of your piss. Like, oh, can you imagine?
No.
Like you are just trying to go home.
I'd be like,
the
can you
shame.
believe
Drunk
somebody did
shenanigans.
this? It's so gross.
Oh my God. Meanwhile, there's just like
Meanwhile,
peel down your legs. It's like drunk shenanigans are funny to you, but they're not
No.
funny to sober people who are just trying to like live their
Amen.
lives, you know?
Amen. Yes.
They were not amused and said some pretty bad things to us as we quickly walked down the hall to our room. My dress was skin tight and light gray, now with dark wet stains on the front and back, and legs were soaked to my heels.
Oh, no. Oh,
She was in a
no.
dress.
A trail of pee
Oh,
from the
no.
elevator to the apartment.
Fucking shoot me, dude.
Funny now, very embarrassing then, and it took the sexiness out of our date.
Yeah.
I also had to hear about it all the time from friends that found out. Everyone would periodically fake sneeze and laugh, and then I would relive the embarrassment every time it came up.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Just that's so embarrassing. Like that's worse than throwing up. Like throwing up in
Yes.
the elevator, like peeing.
Oh,
Peeing in front of people, like in front of strangers.
Well,
Ugh.
and didn't you say that it was her apartment building? So she lives
I think it's her
People are
boyfriend's
gonna
apartment
Oh.
building.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. I think I might be inferring that. But either way, yeah, you're going back there.
and then she moved. She was like, I'm out.
Yep.
I'd
Deuces.
have to because, like, also. It is now your responsibility to have to call like the manager or maintenance or whoever and be like, there's pee in the elevator.
I don't know whose it is.
Yep. And it's all down the hallway leading up to my door, too. I don't know anything about it, though.
So fucking weird.
Oh, my
It
God.
was a dog.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds good.
Yes.
And we're back. Succubus, lead us in.
Yes. Yes. So I had an insane week. And often when I have an insane week and I'm like, what am I going to do for my Tainted Love? I turn to that one source of comfort and truth that is Dateline.
Yeah,
Gotta.
you got
yeah.
to.
This is from season 21. It is called Toxic. So I'm going to take this is actually a Hoda Kotb joint.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I didn't
Okay.
even know Hoda
This-
did that.
Yeah. Listen, I was in shock and surprise as well, but This is a Hoda Kotb joint, and I'm going to take you back in the early 2000s into Philly. You know, Kevin Mengel, he's got a brother and a sister. Parents are getting their divorce. They're taking it really, really hard. You know, like he was the oldest, so he was trying to shield his younger brother and sister. Really tough, but he like protects them. They grow up together, and like his little sister idolizes him. This is her big brother. She sees him like graduate. He's 20 years old, and he's really, really attractive. Although, like, I do not know, again, with the Dateline binders, like who's picking out these photos, because he was rocking a mullet for a while. And
Nice.
this is
Well, you know, some
in
people
the-
can pull those off.
Yeah.
Not him.
No.
You're
Okay.
saying no one can pull it off. Is that what
No.
you're doing?
I love mohawks on girls. I think are really great. It's not my favorite on a guy.
mullet
Mohawk
or
or
mohawk?
Oh, mullet. That's what I meant.
Mullet.
Yeah. You
Oh,
said
mullet.
mullet,
Okay.
and then you said mohawk. Okay. Got it.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, and like he had a lot of different girlfriends, but he was so affected by his parents' divorce that he was very adamant, like he would never ever get divorced. That he was a monogamous person, and that's just the way
gonna
it was
lead
going to be.
Disaster.
So he's,
Yeah, I mean, don't
Don't do that to yourself.
don't make promises like that.
yeah,
You don't know what the future holds.
divorce is always an option, always. So 20 years old, he meets the girl of his dreams, Morgan. She is like friendly, outgoing, charming. Everyone loves her. She's really beautiful. And they're like, this is it at 20, which is like, that's very young. But
Especially if you're like,
I'm never getting
will
divorced.
never get divorced. Maybe take a little more time with that.
Yeah.
Like maybe take a little more time with that. Just to be extra. Maybe wait until that frontal lobe is fully developed.
Yeah.
Just wait like 5 years, you know, and then if you still feel that way, move forward, you know?
Eric said the best advice that his grandma ever gave him was making him promise not to get married until he was at least 35.
That's pretty
I
wise.
mean-
That's pretty wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're 20 and he knocks her up. And so they have their first baby and a wedding shortly after. But I mean, the family's like thrilled. They have grandbabies now, and you know, 2 kids follow shortly after. But they're kind of noticing the family's like, this relationship is a little toxic. Hence the name of the episode. In that around their anniversary every August, you know, Morgan would like step out or they would get into a huge fight. She would leave him for like a few days,
Yeah,
basically.
they're
and-
20.
Yeah.
Like
babies.
this is what that sounds like.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. So they're like, it's a little rocky, but they're young. They have 3 kids. And then like she would always come back to him, and Kevin
They have
would
3
always.
kids?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have 3 kids
Okay.
by this point. So time has gone by,
Okay.
and like once a year, pretty much they have this big blowout fight, like right around their anniversary. Morgan would like deuce out, and then Kevin would like beg her back, and they would get back together. And then Morgan would pretend like everything was great until their next big fight a year later, when she would do it again. So the family's like, they're a little like roller coastery, right? But you know, I'm a stick beside her kind of vibe is what it is. So now it's 2010, you know, they've been together for like a long time at this point. Kevin had a kind of estranged relationship with his father due to the divorce. They hadn't talked in several years, but they were starting to reconcile. And so it's going to be Father's Day. Their families decided we're going to do a big thing, this big like reconciliation party, cookout. Everybody's going to get together. Kevin was really looking forward to it. You know, the kids were going to go, everything like that. So the day that it was going to happen, the dad gets a text from Morgan saying, so sorry, due to unforeseen circumstances, we're not going to be able to make it. And the mom gets a text from
I know
Kevin.
this story. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The mom gets a text from Kevin, basically like, I'm fucking fed up with Morgan. I need to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here for a little while. I'm leaving her. This is over, that kind of thing. So the mom's distraught. She's like, oh my God. And this was also, even though they did fight and break up with each other a lot, it was always Morgan doing it to Kevin, never Kevin doing it to Morgan. So the family's like, well, that's really strange, but maybe he finally, like, final straw. He's had enough. Maybe Morgan stepped out again. Like, you know, everybody has a breaking point. And this,
Right.
maybe he came to his. And they were disappointed that he didn't go to the event, but they were like, just needs a couple of days to cool off, and it's going to be fine. Well, a couple days go by, and he's still like texting people, texting his sister, but his sister's like, that's weird. He's like, sis, I love you. And she's like, he never calls me sis. This is very strange. And then
Have you ever called, like, I have 3 brothers. I've never called them bro.
Never. Never.
In my life.
No, it'd be more believable if I'm like, hey, shithead. Like,
Truly. Yeah, truly. 100%.
what's up, dork? But so he texts his mom, and she's so weirded out by it that she actually calls the cops. And she's like, hey, we haven't seen him in a few days. Like, he left his wife and his kids. And they're like, okay, but he's like communicating with you. And she's like, yeah. And so they actually kind of shrug it off, but they kind of do a little investigating. They're like, okay, he's still texting people in his life. And they go and they like interview some shop owner that from a store that Kevin goes to all the time. And the shop owner's like, oh yeah, I just saw him like yesterday. He was across the street, like texting. I know Kevin. And so the cops are like, okay, so he got into a fight with his wife. He's an adult. He's still texting people. There's nothing to do here. Right. So they just kind of brush it off.
Uh-huh.
But the family is now at this point, like, weirded out. Again, it's like that story that you were saying before. It's like, yes, you're saying that you want to be left alone and you're saying all this stuff happens, but I'm not fucking buying it.
Isn't there.
Exactly. So they're like, if the cops are not going to do anything, we're going to do things. So they start surveilling Morgan because they're like, what is going on? And they happen to see that Morgan has some guy just hanging out with her and the kids, like by the pool at her apartment complex. And Morgan at this time is like 35, 36. She's hanging out with 21-year-old Steve. 21 years old. And he looks like probably like 15. They're like swimming and laughing. He's like basically like moved into the apartment, and they're like, well, this is weird. And even the cops are like, this is kind of strange. Like, if you got into a fight with your husband and your husband left, you're immediately going to move a guy in?
Yeah.
Like, what if he comes back? You know, that's strange. So they're like, okay, like maybe there's something weird going on here. So then they start to dig a little bit more. They're like looking at the garage that Kevin owns because he owns this landscaping company. And while they're over there investigating, lo and behold, Morgan and Steve show up in Morgan's pickup truck.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so they're like, okay, like, hey, how's it going? Like, Morgan gets out of the car and kind of like is talking to the detectives. Well, Steve's still in the passenger seat. So the detective starts to go over to be like, hey, like, what's going on? Steve starts freaking out, gets into the driver's seat of Morgan's car and is like, like yeets out of there.
What are you
Okay.
thinking?
That's not suspicious at all.
Right. So they're like, did he just steal your car? And Morgan's like, yeah. And they're like,
I guess so.
that's kind of weird. Why do you think he did that? And she's like, oh no, maybe he did something to my husband.
Okay.
And so
Wow.
it's So they're like, do you want to talk about that? Like, let's go down to the station and just like debrief on why this 21-year-old stole your car. Like, you told us the other day, like, he's just a friend. He's helping out with the kids. Like, you would never be with him because he's so much younger that it's laughable. You guys aren't having an affair, right? She's like, no, of course we're not having an affair. Well, they're talking for hours and hours. Eventually, of course, it comes up. Oh, yes, Steve and I are having an affair. He
don't say.
He listens
shocked.
to me. He pays attention to me. And they're like, okay. And they're like, well, do you think that he did something to your husband? Or like, where's your husband? She's like, well, maybe he
now
did.
that you mention it.
Because he loves me so much. Maybe he hit him on the back of the head with a shovel.
That is a very fucking specific thing
So
to say.
specific. Right.
That's not like shot him.
I mean,
maybe
maybe it's possible he hit him on the back of the head with a shovel.
very specific. Too
So
specific.
cops are like, why do you think that? And she's like, well, he told me that. And they were like,
Okay.
so why didn't you say anything? And she's just like, well, I guess I was kind of scared and, I didn't know what was going to happen and blah, blah, blah. And so they're like, okay, you need to write down a timeline of like everything from when he went missing to like before he went missing, like lay it out. What the fuck happened? And so she's doing this timeline and the cops are watching her and then they're like keyed into this one word, Snapple. And they're like, what does Snapple mean? And I do have to hand it to whoever edited this Dateline. The amount of B-roll footage of a peach Snapple was really cracking me up. It was like all ominous lighting. And I was like, somebody had to film B-roll fucking footage of a peach Snapple very ominously. And this is very over the top. This is terrible.
But man, I would love a Snapple right now.
I was just
haven't
thinking
had
Mango
a
Madness.
Snapple in so long.
Dude,
Do they even sell those anymore?
I think
they
so.
do. That peach Snapple used to
The
be my
peach one is my
J.
fave. Yeah.
Mango Madness was my shit.
So anyways, she's written out a timeline and then just like at the bottom, one word, Snapple. They're like, what does that mean? So they're like, Morgan, what do you mean by Snapple? And she was like, oh, Steve and I were just like hanging out and joking, like totally joking. Ha ha ha. Wouldn't it be funny if my husband was dead? And
Hilarious. I'm sorry, what?
The father of my 3 children.
yeah, it was just a joke. We were just joking that, like, how would we do it? And like, we were joking about how he loves Snapple. And so maybe we could poison a Snapple. And so they're like, well, that's not like a very funny joke. Like, did you actually do it? She's like, yeah. Steve decided to take a bunch of chewing tobacco and cook it to make liquid nicotine. And then we put a bunch of this
Christ.
fucking liquid nicotine into a peach Snapple, but it was just a joke.
J.K. Rowling, just kidding.
Just kidding. So yeah, and then I handed it to him, but it was just a joke. So they're like, okay, so you handed him a nicotine Snapple, and then
Which
what?
is 100% poisonous, by the way. It will kill you.
Yeah. And so then she's like, well, then I just went home and then I didn't hear from him. So
I'm sorry.
Yes,
You see
I know.
Yes.
Yes.
He's got his head over top. Sorry. My cat is being silly. Sorry.
Oh, man. So, yeah, the cops now are like, well, we have to find Steve. But Steve has absconded with Morgan's truck. And they're like, well, he's turned his cell phone off, so we can't like find him. But Morgan's
He
like,
just
well,
straight up left her there. He's like, later days, deuces.
deuces. So they're like, oh, but Morgan's phone is still on and inside the truck, so we'll track that. So they end up tracking him down 2,000 miles away in Colorado.
Oh, Jesus.
He was really, really
Pedal
driving.
to the metal, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Just fast and furious all the way to Colorado.
And they bring him in, and he is like a baby. He's like a child. He folds immediately. He's like, yeah, like, I did it. I hit him in the back of the head with a shovel, and, you know, we buried him behind the high school or whatever.
You know, again,
And
don't do crimes with someone whose frontal
Yeah.
lobe is not fully developed either.
Truly.
You know?
Yeah. And so they're like, okay. And they find the body and everything. They're like, okay, we're going to put you guys on trial for murder. Like, obviously, both of you are involved. But Morgan is saying, like, she was just joking. It was all Steve. Steve did everything. Steve's the one that hit him in the back of the head. And Steve's the one that buried the body. And Steve is like, yeah, no, Morgan wanted me to do this. She told me if we did this, that we would be
Obviously.
together forever. And all I had to do was do this.
All I had to do was kill someone. I'm sorry. What?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So they go to trial. The very first trial, a cop accidentally on the stand says something that turns out to be hearsay or was hearsay. So then it's a mistrial automatically. But meanwhile, Morgan is writing all these love letters to Steve. She writes that she gave birth to twins of his named Jackson and Liam, how much they weighed, their hair color, their eye color. Honey, completely false.
Of course.
But she's writing these basically like, you take the blame for this because somebody has to raise our children together.
This is
Like-
so bold. Like
So
the way that
psychotic.
people, I don't trust myself enough or have the confidence, like enough
To try to pull that
confidence.
off. I know.
No, to like lie this brazenly.
Yeah. Yeah. And also to not even think to yourself, like, they read all the fucking letters.
Yeah,
you
dummy.
dunce. Like, what do you think? Now it's Exhibit B, your fucking fake ass twin story, and trying to get him to cop to something you were clearly the mastermind of. So they go to the second trial. And meanwhile, cops have actually uncovered, because Morgan thought if you delete texts, like you
Jesus
delete a text thread, it gone. But they actually were able, of course, to very easily get it. So they actually now have a concrete timeline of the murder of Kevin Mengel, where she's saying to him, "We ready?" ? He says, "Yup." She says, "He drinking it?" ? Steve replies, "Kinda. Really just waiting for him to bend over. I have a shovel in my hand here." Nice, babe.
Jesus.
Pause. There's no response. She chimes back in. "You backing out?" "It's done. Get over here right now." So they know
This is the
Wow.
father of your children. I just cannot imagine being this like detached about them getting murdered. Like this, it's so dark.
it really is. I mean, this is somebody that she's been with for, gosh, like years at that point. They have 3, kids. They've been together for like a decade, and just to not
fucking
even care
wild.
about it is wild to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, all the evidence, Steve is convicted. He gets 40 to 80 years. Morgan gets life without parole.
Good. Bye.
And, luckily the kids are being raised by the Mengel family. Like the sister is helping out. Everyone's helping out to give them a good life. But I just could not imagine texting back and forth with a 21-year-old kid
Jesus.
to get them to hit. And not only that, hit someone, bludgeon someone with a shovel,
Jesus.
and then go and help him clean it up, because she did. She went and helped him like wrap the body, clean up all the blood. Like how are you that detached from somebody that you had babies with, that you were with for that long? That is just so cold-blooded to me.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah.
Yeah, and then to text his family members as well.
So
Yes.
After the fact is so just disgusting. And these people are your family too. You've been in their lives for a decade.
Yeah.
Like, I just cannot imagine.
You carried their grandbabies.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
despicable.
Like-
Despicable human being.
Updating his Facebook status, I just want to be left alone. And then, like, Cassie, to your point from earlier, like, his family were the ones that were like, no, something is wrong.
Yeah.
This is out of character. This is not right. We're going to have to push the issue because, again, to the cops' point, listen, I'm not one to defend cops, but in this situation, they're seeing, because she had a text thread between Morgan and Kevin being like, see, he said he was going to leave me. Other people are saying they're getting texts from him. A shopkeeper said, oh, yeah, I saw him. It's just a case of mistaken identity. But still, like, if you're a cop, you're like, oh, okay, like, it's just a guy got fed up and left his wife. Like, okay. But
even
yeah,
though he never has, and as the family totally is like, nope, this is not character. This is not, he would not do that.
Right. It took them pushing the issue to actually get, I truly think, like, if they hadn't gotten involved, that she may have gotten away with it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, if he hadn't had family who was like, wait a second. I think eventually, though, somebody's like, okay, it's been a year or however long. You're like, okay, it's one thing that he left his wife, but he wouldn't leave his children. He wouldn't leave his family. He wouldn't just fuck off to nowhere and never be seen again.
He had a business.
Yeah.
He had a business. Okay. Yeah. He's going to just up and left, like, his landscaping business and his kids.
Long term, I don't think they were really thinking about that. I mean, clearly, because also just moving him in right away, like, what?
It's bonkers.
What were you thinking?
Yeah, and that it wouldn't look suspicious to, like, the people that care. Yeah, exactly.
This is somebody
very,
who
very
does
strange.
not play consequences.
No, not at all.
Ugh, diabolical.
But yeah, I know. But yeah, that's a Hoda copy joint. If you want to check it out, it was pretty wacky. So
Yeah, that's a good one. I've seen that Dateline.
I remember that one too. I listened to it,
Wow.
I think, a long time ago, but yeah, I knew it. It's still a fucking insane story.
Insane. Oh, so sad.
And then to text back and forth while your boyfriend is murdering your husband,
No,
and then
like,
delete
in the
delete
moment.
the text thread and be like, it's gone.
Knowing that it's happening in the moment there's something so, like, callous about that.
Yeah.
It's not even just like, cutting off communication and being like, tell me when it's done. Like, it's active, like, in real time. You could say at any moment, like, I don't want you to do that,
Mm-hmm.
That's horrible.
No,
Horrible.
she actively egged him on, like, you backing out.
Jesus.
So ugh.
Awful.
Well, what are you guys watching this week?
Well, I did finally make it through season 1 of Severance. Such a good show. So good. And I have watched the first episode of season 2. So I am officially on the season 2 Severance train. So gonna watch more this week. Things have just been a little crazy this weekend. But that show is just, the first season even just got robbed because it really didn't win very many awards. I don't think it was nominated for, like, any Golden Globes or anything. And I just don't see how that's possible. It's such a unique show. The writing is so unique on it. The performances are great. The guy who plays Milchek, underrated.
Yeah, Trammell. Oh my gosh,
So good.
Just wave. There's lots more Milchek in season 2. So yeah,
Excited.
I'm actually reading a book.
Of course.
Of course I am. But I'm reading this book, and I think that you guys might like it. It's so you guys know, of course, Dominic Dunn, from, of course, we know Dominic Dunn. His son is Griffin Dunn. He's an actor. And his sister obviously is Dominique Dunn, who was murdered. He wrote a memoir, basically a family memoir, kind of called The Friday Afternoon Club, and it's really fucking good.
Great.
Yeah, I'm about, let's see, I'm about like 11 to 12 chapters in or something. Yeah, about like not quite halfway through, but it's really good. I can't put it down. I mean, like, it's reading like a novel. It's very, I mean, he comes from a family of writers, so it makes sense.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it's incredibly good.
We watched A Complete Unknown last night.
I heard it was good. Did you like it?
No. Hated it.
Wow.
I hated it. Okay.
Had a very visceral dislike for Timothée Chalamet in this. I did think that his performance, he did a good job of capturing, but my problem with this movie, I'm like, did Bob Dylan write this movie? Because it literally is, from the jump, everyone around him is like, you're the best ever. You're like, everyone's obsessed with him. Everybody recognizes he's talented. Everyone loves him from the beginning to the very end of the movie. Everyone is like, Bob Dylan is the greatest thing that has ever happened to this country, to me personally.
Wow.
And I'm like, it is so heavy-handed. It is so, I was just like, wait, I'm like, did Bob Dylan write this movie? Like, it really was wild.
His biggest fan.
Yeah, truly.
Right?
And so, I personally did not care for it. The Best Picture nominees this year, I'm kind of like, oof, woof.
It doesn't feel like it's been a good year for movies.
No, it doesn't really.
Yeah.
My favorite movie that I've seen that is, it's not up for Best Picture, but it is in the awards buzz, is A Real Pain with Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg. That one
I've heard good things. Okay.
That one I loved. I loved it.
Yeah. And Kieran Culkin just won, I think, a SAG award.
Yeah.
For it?
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
But but also then I've heard The Substance was amazing.
I really liked The Substance.
I did like The Substance. I don't know, like Best Picture.
I don't think it's Best Picture, but I think I enjoyed it as a movie, and I think the performances are really good. And
and I felt the same way about Conclave too. I'm like, I really enjoyed it, but I don't know, like Best Picture. But yeah, I don't know.
People are kind of raving about Conclave though, which is surprising. I'm like, haven't they done this movie already? I feel like
it's good. I mean, you get to watch the Tooch, you get to watch Ray Fiennes, John Lithgow. And they're
love a character actor,
gossipy. Like, pss, pss, pss. I don't mean to be mean, but so
the best.
Yeah.
That's on my list for sure. I really want to watch that. I really want to watch Flow. I feel like Flow is going to make me cry.
Did I tell you guys we put that on, and we had just gotten Biscuits, our cat. And she was so
was she
fascinated.
Enthralled?
Yes. And she got scared. At one point, there's a scary part. She got scared. She ran. She hid behind the curtains in our living room and then peeked her head out to watch to see what happened.
Angel.
I was like, oh my God, this is the best.
Me and Matilda are going to watch it. We're going to get in our jammies.
Is it a cat? Is it about cats?
It's a cat,
yes.
like it, and I think it's silent, but the animation is not like not silent, like there's music, but no, because it's all animals. And it's like a cat going on a grand adventure and meets a bunch of other animals.
That sounds like I want to cry, and I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in crying.
Keegan, I'm
interested in that cry, specific cry.
Text me about it when you watch it. I want to know if Matilda gets interested in it, because there's a lot of cat vocalizations, and that's what Biscuits was like. It was like, yeah, exactly. Like, what's going on with this cat?
Definitely will. I'll take video if she does, but she almost definitely will. Matilda watches TV, and in fact, Matilda likes The Housewives.
Oh,
she watches Housewives.
She seems like a catty bitch. But
100%. She likes Beverly Hills a lot.
Believable.
Yeah. Leroy got really into the Bridezilla stuff that we
Somehow also tracks. that we were.
exactly. Somehow believable still. Yeah.
Well, if you guys have something that we or our animals should watch, if you have a terrible date story, if you just want to reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.